All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are to talk about UFC Fight Island 3, Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till. Wally Waller, are you fucking excited about this main event? Because I know I am.
I am. Dude, the main event is amazing. In another planet, maybe this would be a title fight, but we have it for a 5 round, so it's all good.
Dude, okay, so you and I talked about that. I said that was the most important thing to me, that I was so glad that this was not some co-main event or co-main event on a pay-per-view where they only got 3 rounds. I was so happy with the fact that this is a 5-round main event because, and I even told you, I don't think they're going to need all 5 rounds. They probably won't even need the championship rounds. But just the fact that I know these guys are training for 25 hard minutes, I know it's going to be fireworks.
Exactly. And if it goes to decision, we would rather see a 5-round decision than a 3-round decision.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a guy squeak out a 3-round decision easily, but I mean, it's those extra 10 minutes. If you guys have never grappled or done any kind of, jiu-jitsu or any kind of combat sports at all, just try go running for 5 minutes straight and then go try running for 25 minutes straight. It's almost the same amount of fucking cardio you got to do, just from being in a fight. I mean, these guys are literally in there. They're not running from each other, but they're going at full blast. I mean, it's hard to go for 25 straight minutes. It takes a special kind of fighter. We talked about Askar Askarov on the last episode, which is cardio for days. I mean, Robert Whittaker has shown he can go 25 minutes with the best of them. He's done it with Yoel Romero twice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whittaker have no issue when it comes to 5-round fights.
Now, Antonio Rogério Nogueira has said this is his last fight, and it's going to be his final fight against Shogun. Co-main event, Fight Island 3. Are you excited to see Rogério Nogueira?
Yeah, I think that it's a great fight. One of the best fight that they could actually make for him for his last fight.
When was the last time we even seen Minotauro in the fight?
I believe it's been...
Oh, he did fight last year against Ryan Spann.
Exactly. I believe. Yeah, I was about to say I believe he fought last year, but for Mauricio Shogun Rua, actually he looked good in some fights. Then he lost one, I believe, but he's still out there. Shogun is still out there.
It's Shogun. I mean, Shogun who has looked, some of the best in the UFC. If you just see what he's done to some other fighters, I mean, you see what he did to Lyoto Machida. I mean, the 5-round fight, I thought he beat Lyoto Machida the first time. The second time, he left no doubt in anyone's mind.
Yeah, no doubt. He just went out there and destroyed him.
When John Jones beat him, it really showed how much of a different level John Jones was on. He was still a young man at that point in time.
Yeah, Shogun was actually a beast.
Shogun has already beat Minotauro Nogueira. He beat him at UFC 190 in the co-main event. So here we are, 5 years later? Co-main event yet again. August 1st, 2015. What is it? Fucking this weekend, July, 25th. I'm excited to see Minotauro one more time. It's obviously the final time he said it, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
The co-main event, I'm also excited to see Alexander Gustafsson, who we thought was retired, now unretired. Now he's a heavyweight. These two have sparred before, so I'm interested to see about that. We'll get into that a little later. Yeah. Mariano Rodriguez, Carlos Esparza. This is a great fight. Khamzat making a 10-day turnaround. I mean, like you pointed out earlier, that's the quickest turnaround anyone's ever made in the UFC.
Yeah, which is amazing from him, and I think that this will be another great fight. I think the main card actually is crazy.
Main card is very good. There's 6 fights in the main card? I mean, that's awesome.
7. I see 7. Yeah.
7 fights on the main card. I mean, they're obviously trying to leave Fight Island with a bang.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's start off in the very first fight of the night, the bantamweight division. Nathaniel Wood is taking on John Castaneda. John obviously won his contract in the Contender Series. Nathaniel Wood, though, is a very good prospect out of England. The prospect himself is, 16-4. He's beaten Andre Ewell, a couple other guys in the UFC. He's looked very good in his run. He's got that 69-inch reach going up against Castaneda's 71-inch reach. I don't know much about the Sexy Mexi. I know he's fought a couple times in the UFC, but right now we're definitely going to see what he's all about.
I would rather see a heavyweight fight in the first fight, but for this one, like I may do an exception. I think that Nathaniel Wood is a very interesting fighter. I actually really I'm kind of excited to see him fight in this card.
We have in the welterweight division Ramazan Emeev, 18-4 versus Nicolas Stalitz. Ramazan, obviously another one of those Russians. We've been talking about this Russian takeover, and it's just going crazy at this point. I mean, every time you look around, every other fight, there's a Russian in it, it seems like.
They are everywhere. Also because of everything, everything weird that happened in the world right now. Abu Dhabi is one of the only place where they can go fights, so that's why we are seeing a lot of them during those last couple of events.
Listen, I've been saying it for a while. Abu Dhabi is Las Vegas East. Yeah, Las Vegas is really the fight capital of this side of the world. It's not the fight capital of the world anymore. Abu Dhabi has really grown in to the fight capital of the Eastern Hemisphere.
The fact that the UFC are having a good relationship with them is very interesting, and it's pretty good for the future.
Well, not even just the UFC. They've had huge boxing matches there.
Yeah,
and they've
of course.
Planned, some that have fallen through, some other big boxing matches there. Now, in the women's bantamweight division, my girlfriend, but she don't really know about it, Betcha Koe is returning against Pani Kanzati, 11-4-1. Betcha really has not looked herself since she got knocked out by Ronda Rousey. She's been on a downfall ever since then. It'll be interesting to see how many fights has she did win her last fight against Sijara Eubanks, but before that, she lost to Irene Aldana, Holly Holmes. I mean, she's only really lost to top flight contenders, but at this point in time, I mean, that's all you're going to get.
Well, I think that if Penny actually beat Correa, that means that she actually deserves to be here. But Bet is not an easy fight, so we will see.
Little pit bull.
Yeah. Little.
In the heavyweight division, here we finally got your heavyweights, bro. It only took us 4 fights. Tanner Boser making that quick turnaround. Obviously, he fought UFC. What was it, 246, the last pay-per-view? Or was it the Fight Island? Or no, it was at the Apex Center. I want to say it was the same card Maurice Green was on. I can't remember what fucking fight that was. Tanner Boser returned against Rafael Paseo. Paseo is 10-1 in his professional career. Paseo, though, is no slouch. He's got a very long reach. It's an interesting fight between these two. Obviously, these big boys are going to go in there and swing it. You've seen Tanner Boser in his last fight had that, backhand come from hell fucking. Oh, my God. He killed the man. He killed him.
Yeah. There's so much power in his hands. And I think that this fight will not last 3 rounds. That's what I think.
Rafael Paseo's got a 78-inch reach to Tanner Boser's 75.5. But you've seen Tanner really, really makes that 75.5 seem a lot longer than he is. He's got pretty good footwork. He's able to move his head very well for a heavyweight, and he is very tenacious.
He's very good at cutting the distance. That's what I think.
Yes. In the featherweight division, Mavzar Evaliv, I'm pretty sure he's from that Russian region, versus Mike Grandy. Mike Grandy, obviously 12-1. Evolov is 12-0. So the battles of the 12-12 guys. Now listen, obviously these two are no slouch. They made it all the way to the UFC. I don't know a whole lot about either one of them though. Mavar has a 0.5-inch reach. They're both the same size. Weight and height is identical. Should be a fun matchup though. They seem like they're very well-rounded mixed martial artists.
Yeah, pretty interesting matchup. I think that not a lot of people know actually a lot about those two fighters, so it will be interesting to discover them.
Shit about them right now, but we probably know a little bit about one of them at the end of the week.
Exactly.
In the heavyweight division, we got you another heavyweight fight, bro. They were listening to you. They were like, hey, listen, if we can't get one, we got to get him two in the prelims.
Yeah,
We got
exactly.
Tom Aspinall taking on Jack Collier. I just fucked up Tom's last name. My bad, Tom. 7-2, going against Jack's 11-4. Don't know much about these two gentlemen either. I'm sorry. I didn't do my homework this weekend. Don't shoot me, okay?
Big boys fighting, and that's all you need to know. Those two will throw heavy, and I think that's, like I say, those heavyweight fights usually don't last 3 rounds, so we will see.
Jack Collier has been in the UFC for a while. He's one loss, pretty much his entire UFC career.
Okay.
But
Did he lose or win his last fight?
His very last fight, he won against Marcel Fortune by unanimous decision.
Okay, so he's going to lose this one.
He was scheduled to originally fight Tom on March 21st. That was a Woodley Edwards card that got switched. Obviously, now here they are, UFC 14 or UFC on ESPN 14, whatever the fuck they're calling this card. It's Fight Island 3. God damn it, get your shit straight.
Yeah, Fight Island 3, exactly. I don't know why they are giving us number and shit like that. This is a one-time deal, Fight Island.
No, they're going back to Fight Island. They're coming back.
Oh,
Watch.
That's great.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you we at least get 2 more batches of Fight Island fights.
But we will have it with the crowd, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the last one, but I don't think we're gonna have the next one with crowds either. In the welterweight division, Nicholas Dalby is taking on Jess Ronson. 21-10, 18-3. Look, these guys have been around very, very long time. Dalby, though, is sporting a 4.5-inch reach advantage. Do you think that 4.5-inch reach advantage is going to do Mr. Dalby any good?
I do think so, yeah. I think that Dalby is a kind of dangerous fighter, and a fighter like him having the reach advantage is always good for him. So, yeah, I do think that the reach advantage will play a big role in this fight.
Now, in the main event of the preliminary portion of the card, we have Francisco Trinaldo versus Jay Herbert. Obviously, we know a lot about Mr. Francisco Trinaldo. We do not know about the Black Country banger, Jay Herbert. He is the former Cage Warriors champion. He has won, 6 in a row. It's a pretty interesting matchup. He is the number 7th ranked active pro lightweight in the UK and Ireland area. Kind of got a little tongue twister there. Interesting matchup. Obviously, he's making his UFC debut. No slouch to fight against either. Francisco Trinaldo is a tremendous fighter, and he's really been a gatekeeper of this lightweight division for the past 8-9 years.
Yeah, and right now he's 41-year-old, so maybe being that old is not good for him right now. So maybe
he's gonna fight longer than Roy Jones.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah, he will be fighting forever. That's what I think. But
I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. Do you see Trinaldo retiring in a fight or two? Like, there's some guys where I'm like, okay, Cowboy Oliveira might retire soon. Carla Esparza, if she keeps losing, she might retire soon. Alexander Gustafsson, if this goes bad for him, he's retiring. I don't really see it in the future of Trinaldo. I mean, every time he goes out there, he's in all the fights. He doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. He's 41 years old and he's built like a fucking shithouse.
I agree with you. Yeah, he will keep on fighting, but maybe the fact that he's getting older, maybe he will lose this fight. Keep on fighting doesn't mean that he will keep on winning.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna keep winning. I don't think he's gonna go on a title shot anytime soon. I don't think he's Joel Romero, but
yeah,
I do think that he is competitive enough to stay in this.
He is.
Now, we talked about Mr. Kazmat Shimov in his quick 10-day turnaround. He is going to be facing Reese McKee. The 24-year-old is making his promotional debut. I want to say he was a former Cage Warriors champion, correct?
I'm not sure about that, but what I know is that Khamzat is actually going for a record, and this is what I actually, we were talking about people trying to make the most of this opportunity.
Yes.
Because we are living right now in weird times.
Well,
Khamzat is,
especially in a
yeah,
situation like these guys, they're already in the bubble. So why not
yeah.
just stay?
Khamzat is actually doing it and doing it. Maybe some others doesn't have the opportunity because maybe they got injured after their fights or whatever. But him,
But
he's
he
all
went in
good.
there
Keep
and
on
he
fighting.
wrecked Phillips. He
Yeah.
wrecked Phillips in what was it, a round and a half. Finished him with a submission 1 minute and 12 seconds into the second round. Now he goes and just to improve on his undefeated record against, Reese McKee, who was obviously no slouch. You don't win the Cage Wars title for nothing. But Kazmat, man, I mean, that dude, he's really a special fighter.
He is, and we will see. I'm actually
And he's talking about
supporting him.
he wants to fight all these guys. He wants to fight Masvidal. He wants to fight everybody.
Wow.
He's not shying away from the competition. He says he wants to take a couple of these fights, and he sees himself in the same limelight as a Colby Covington, as a Jorge Masvidal. And these are guys that he said, Wonder Boy. I mean, he's ready. If he can get past Reese McKee, maybe get another 2 more fights, I don't see a problem with putting a big name in front of him.
If he wins this fight, he will be already putting, his name up there, and he will be making a name for himself. So yeah, why not? Maybe in the future, why not?
I would love to see put him against a Nico Price next.
Whoa, that would be interesting.
Dude, the hybrid versus Borg, man. In the welterweight division, Alex Cowboy Oliveira is taking on Peter Sabata. Peter Sabata is no joke. Cowboy Oliveira is no joke. These two gentlemen have been around this fight game for a while. It's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cowboy never has a boring fight. If
Never.
your nickname is Cowboy, you can't have a boring fight, I think.
He cannot have a boring fight. And this is a kind of fight that will get us even more fired up for what's coming next.
Yeah. Oh, man, I know how much you love your Paul Craig.
Yeah.
I know you've been waiting to talk about Paul. Go ahead. I'll let you start it.
Dude, Paul Craig is fighting against a guy named Gadimurad Antigulov. So
I'm surprised you even try to learn his name.
I will not butcher his name just like that. Which is I think that he's also a guy from Russia. I do believe so. So it will be an interesting matchup. Paul Craig is one of the fighters that get people fired up. I think that when they see him fight, there's like a short list of fighters that, even though we kind of know that they will never maybe fight for the belt, but we will still watch them fight anyway. And Paul Craig is one of those fighters.
Mr. Antigulov was born in the Soviet Union, Russia. He now currently resides in Dagestan, Russia.
Okay.
His style is freestyle wrestling, boxing, and sambo. He's only got 6 losses, 4 by knockouts, 15 submissions. Let me tell you what, this dude has lost to some very top level talent while he's been in the UFC. He lost to Ion Kuntelaba. Not a bad fight. Lost to Michel Olex. I'm going to fuck up his last name, but that was not a bad fight either. They both went out swinging. I mean, this is a very good matchup for these two. Paul Craig doesn't have a boring fight in him. And you could literally be winning fucking 4 minutes and 59 seconds and 2 more rounds, and he will look for a submission to submit you. You cannot take a second off against Paul Craig.
The fact that Antigulov is a grappler and Paul Craig is pretty good and pretty decent when it comes to his jiu-jitsu game,
especially
on his back. Yeah, so it will be an interesting matchup. I think that will be good, and if they keep it standing up, it will be even more interesting, I think.
No, for sure. Who do you got in that one?
I will go with my man Paul Craig.
I'm going into Antigulov.
This is just to piss me off, but whatever.
It's all about them Dagestanis, bro.
Of course.
In the women's strawweight division, we got Carla Esparza versus Mariana Rodriguez. I'm going with Rodriguez in this fight. Honestly, I think she's the more well-rounded fighter, in my opinion.
Esparza been looking good in her last 3 fights. She won against Grasso, then she won against Watterson. those two fights by decision, especially the last one against
Alexa
Waterson, where
Grasso was a good fight too.
some people thought that maybe Michelle won against her in that split decision. It's debatable. Esparza is a great grappler, I think so. So we will see how she do with the Marina, who is actually never lost in her MMA
Marina
career.
Rodriguez, her last 3 fights, phenomenal performances. She beat Jessica Aguilar. She beat Tisha Torres, and then it was a draw against Cynthia Calvillo. You see what Cynthia Calvillo just did against Jessica Ai a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I mean, no slouches in her UFC debut. I really feel like this young lady is going to make a statement this weekend.
Maybe. I think that this is a tough challenge for both of them. Marina, we will see if she will keep on being undefeated.
For Marina as well.
Yeah.
So what do you have in this fight?
You know what? I think that in this type of fights, I think Carla Esparza may get the W by decision with her grappling.
That's I can see that. I can try to grapple her, try to control the fight, and just get this victory, get the fuck out.
That's what I think.
Get off Fight Island, come back to Vegas. Make sure it's Vegas. Here we go, man. Heavyweight co-main event. Fabricio Werdum, Alexander Gustafsson. When Alexander Gustafsson had his last fight, and he did retire in the ring, that was last year against Anthony Smith when he lost.
Yeah.
Did you think that he was going to come back? And when he did come back, did you think it was going to be in the heavyweight division?
I no longer believe any MMA fighter who say that he will retire.
Conor retires every other week.
Yeah, so I can't believe any of them.
Conor has retired from retiring.
Uriah said that he's retired and now he's fighting. They are all a bunch of liars, I would say, so I will not believe them. Gustafsson in the heavyweight division, I believe that it's always been an interesting question. I think that a lot of MMA fans been asking themselves about.
He has a 2-inch reach advantage over Werdum coming from a smaller division.
Yeah.
Still the taller man.
He's huge.
He's very long.
He's huge. Fabricio Werdum, I think that is 42 right now. Always dangerous. Of course, if the fight goes to the ground, Fabricio is still one of the best ever.
But did you see Fabricio Werdum in his last fight? Did he look like the Fabricio Werdum that we were used to against Alexei Oleinik?
He didn't look well, even though Oleinik is not an easy piece of cake. You know, Oleinik is a very tough fighter to fight against, and his ground game is next level. But Gustafsson's striking...
I didn't know he was a piece of cake.
Yeah, but Gustafsson's striking, man, may be like the...
Gustafsson's got top... Gustafsson, in my opinion, is the best fighter to never hold a UFC title.
He is out there. I think so, maybe.
Him and Dan Henderson.
Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe there's also maybe Overeem. Alistair, who also? Maybe Chadman. There's some fighters. There is some fighters, but yeah, I agree with you.
Benavidez, Mendez, Uriah.
Gustafsson is right there, and his striking, I think that if Gustafsson is going to win this fight because his striking will be too much against Werdum.
I could see it. I really think that Gustafsson and his length is still going to be a problem in the heavyweight division.
Exactly.
In the light heavyweight division, the co-main event, Antonio Rogerio Nogueira has decided that this will be his last fight, going up against Mr. Shogun Rua. How excited are you for this fight?
Well, I think that those Brazilians legend is always good to see them fight. This time, I think that when Antonio Nogueira is saying that he will retire, I do believe that he will actually retire. Maybe 100%. he will keep on maybe doing some jiu-jitsu stuff, but in the MMA world, I think that he will retire.
I mean, I can honestly see him if he wants to stay on with the UFC and develop, Brazilian talent.
He can. He's a legend down there.
He's a legend in Brazil, and you know that people respect what he says.
Exactly. And Shogun, man. Shogun actually been fighting since forever. I think that...
Since, Nam.
Yeah, he's been fighting Pride. He's been fighting, he did everything. Shogun actually did everything when it comes to MMA. For this fight, I would kind of want Nogueira to win, but I think that Shogun is still more relevant than Nogueira right now.
Shogun beat my man Tyson Pedro back in 2018. He had a draw against your guy, Paul Craig.
Yeah.
This would be an interesting matchup. What all do you think Shogun has left in the tank? Do you think at the end of Saturday, both these guys could be calling it a career?
No, I think that only Nogueira will retire. I don't think that Shogun will retire. I think that Shogun actually can still keep on fighting.
What do you think is left for Shogun at this point in time? He's not going to get another title shot. I just want to see Shogun in like money fights. Like, give me matchups we never got from Pride days.
Yeah, just have him fight other old fighters in his generation. Like we had those Bellator fights. Maybe he will move to Bellator to keep on fighting against guy his age and his level. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, if he went
Money
to Bellator,
fights.
he could fight Chael.
Again, yeah, why not? He can
I mean,
fight Chael.
there's a lot of matchups over there in Bellator. I mean, fuck, Tito probably even get in Bellator one day.
Yeah, who knows? So I agree with you.
We got Bellator fights tomorrow night.
Oh.
Yeah, but let's get to this main event, man. Middleweight fight. I'm just ecstatic that it's 5 rounds. I'm so happy that they were able to work it out and it wasn't on a pay-per-view and stuck at a 3-round fight. Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till deserves 25 minutes. I don't think it's going to last 25 minutes, but it definitely deserves it. I'm so fucking excited for this fight.
I think that the whole MMA fan base is excited about this fight. Darren Till, who gained more fans by his Instagram accounts more than ever. I think that his Instagram account is, he's hilarious. It's crazy. Whittaker is one of the most, I feel, respected fighter in the history, maybe in the UFC. I don't think that there's in the world some Whittaker haters. I don't think so. I don't know how you can hate the guy. You can't.
I think, too, a lot of the extra pressure is going to be on Whittaker. He's not the champion. He doesn't have to deal with the extra media. He doesn't have to deal with just having the mystique of having all these guys coming after you. He is now able to join the pack of the hunted and not be the huntee.
Maybe that will be good for him. But Darren Till is a scary fighter. I think that if you're going to pick a winner, who would be?
I think Darren Till wins this fight. I
really?
honestly think his striking is enough to, if he lands a good left, you gotta understand, Darren Till cut a lot of weight to get to welterweight. He was taking a lot of his chin out of it, and he was probably losing a lot of power. So middleweight's more of his natural weight class. Obviously, 170 is no more. 185 pounds, though, he adds the chin, and he gives himself so much more power.
He's a big guy, but Whittaker is also.
Whittaker is the true test in this middleweight division. These are both former welterweights, though.
Exactly, and Whittaker, I think that's really.
Robert Whittaker won the Ultimate Fighter as a welterweight.
Yeah, but Whittaker, man, I don't know which version of Whittaker we will see, because the man, other than having those wars against
Israel
Romero,
took his soul,
and other than Israel taking his soul, the dude had some serious injuries and said some serious business to take care of. So I don't know which version of Whittaker we will see, but if I go, I will go with Whittaker.
If Whittaker comes out like he did against Jacare, I already said it, he's going to lose to Darren Till. If he tries to go out there and if he turns this into a brawl, I don't think this is the type of guy you want to brawl against.
But Jacare was a fighter that you needed to brawl with, because if you don't do that, you will go to the ground with him.
Missions.
Yeah. And Darren Till, I don't know which version also of Darren Till we will see. We will see the Darren Till who's more of a calculated striker who doesn't take risks, or we will see a crazy Darren Till going for the kill.
It all just depends, man. Saturday night, though, we will have the answers. In my opinion, though, Darren Till has better striking than Robert Whittaker. It's that simple when it comes to, and not even just striking. When we talk about pure power, I think Darren Till has that, even though he is the guy coming from welterweight. I think Darren Till, at this point in time, I think if Robert Whittaker is going to win, he's going to need to take Darren Till to the ground.
Maybe. And I think that maybe Whittaker, with that overhand lead left hand he has, which is very dangerous, is one of the best that I ever saw in the UFC, in the MMA. I think that he may rock Darren Till with it.
Robert Whittaker has a 1-inch reach disadvantage to Darren Till. Darren Till has a 74.5. Robert Whittaker is 73.5. Both these gentlemen are 6 foot. Robert Whittaker closes the distance very well. Like I said, it's a very interesting matchup, and I'm happy that we're finally getting it, and I'm fucking ecstatic that it's 5 rounds.
I agree with you. This is a great matchup. This is a great main event, and it's a great way to end this first Fight Island trip.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think we're going to get another Fight Island trip out of this before it's all said and done. I don't think fans are going to be there. I'm interested to see what's going to happen after this fight. Do you think that these two gentlemen have enough in their resume to deserve the next title shot after Costa above Jared Cannonier? Or do you think Jared Cannonier kind of trumps both these two guys?
Well, I feel like there is no debate that Paulo Costa is next, but
he's for sure the number one contender.
In that we agree. I believe
he should have got the fight before Yoel.
Exactly, but I think that in the MMA world, the more you stay active, the better. And Jared is not active right now, which is not good for him, and he may get leapfrogged by the winner of this fight.
Yeah, it's very possible with a big performance. One of these two gentlemen could be very well next in line for the winner of Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa.
Exactly.
Anything else on Fight Island 3, sir?
I think that this may be not better than the first Fight Island card we have, but it may have the potential to actually be a very, very solid card. The main card is, I think, crazy. The prelims are actually not bad, but the main card really is next level. That's what I think.
Let me get 3 fights to watch.
Okay, if there's 3 fights that I will definitely not miss, I will go first with Paul Craig against Antigulov. I think that this may be a very interesting matchup. I will go also with Khamzat against Rhys McKee because it's very intriguing to see a fighter fight like 10 days.
10 days.
10 days, And you know what? I will go also with Gustafsson against Fabricio Verdum just to see how Gustafsson will actually perform in the main event in the heavyweight division.
I'm going to have to go with Tanner Boser, Rafael Paseo. Okay. I really feel like that's going to be a barber. Those two are going to take each other's heads off. What's not to say about Carla Esparza versus Marina Rodriguez? In my opinion, I think that's one of the better fights in that division. I think Marina is going to come out victorious. I really feel like she's next level compared to what Carla Esparza used to be, not to what she is now. Now, in my opinion, the main event is probably the best fight that we've seen in a very long time. And it's arguably one of the better Fight Island fights. I am so excited for this main event. And the great part about the middleweight division is it's so stacked. Without a perfect, flawless performance, neither one of these guys leapfrog the next guy.
We have Hermanson coming back with that W he had against Gastelum. We had Jared Cannonier still out there. We have Yoel Romero always looking up and trying to kill people. This division is stacked.
Why not Cannonier versus Yoel?
I would love to see this fight.
That would be amazing.
Even the winner of this fight against Jared, I think that this may be a good fight also. Darren Till against Romero, even though Darren Till doesn't want any of Yoel Romero, would be a very interesting matchup.
No, for sure. Well, that about wraps it up for our Fight Island 3 coverage. Stay classy, knuckleheads.
Peace.